This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, June the 27th. I'm Renee Knott.
And I'm Michelle Lee. Thanks so much for joining us. The time now is 6:01. We do have more information on some breaking news in O'Fallon, Illinois that we want to get to. The westbound lanes of I-64 have just reopened. Probably have been open for about 15 minutes or so, but they were shut down after a crash around 4 o'clock this morning involving a box truck. There were some injuries. Right now, we are working to learn more about those injuries, how many people may have been hurt. But I know that, Paul, you've been kind of looking at the traffic, possible delays and detours as well because of this.
Yes, indeed. And luckily, if you're just waking up, you're not going to probably have to deal with it. If you're coming in to St. Louis from 64 going westbound in O'Fallon, Illinois, it has been cleared, even though you'll see a little bit of a presence there. And maybe you want to take 50, but you could probably get right on by. What about the rest of the area? Well, it's all about construction and lighter than normal volume, but that doesn't mean it's not a little bit dangerous when you roll up on some areas that are dealing with lane closures that we haven't already had. And one to just keep in mind for the weekend is going to be 270 at 40. We will definitely talk more about that and the Wentzville construction in just a few minutes. Been great to have Jim in for Anthony this week. And, well, you had some up and down weather here as far as temperatures go.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. So, areas of fog this morning, but really every camera I've checked, no big issues with that. Here's Worldwide Technology Raceway in Illinois. Sun is rising. It's gorgeous out there. And of course, whether you're on 203 or 55 around the raceway, things are looking good in terms of visibility. So right now in St. Louis, that temperature at 70 degrees. We did drop to about 69 for the low. And that dew point is still high. That goes down and becomes less humid air this afternoon. Much more in our forecast for the weekend coming up.
Right now, we are following developing news. This morning, St. Louis police are searching for the person who shot and killed a man in North City. It happened just before 9:30 last night outside the Elite Market and Grill on Union and Ridge. This is at least the 82nd homicide in the city so far this year. 5 on your side expects an update from police later this morning, and we will bring you an update on air and online.
Today, a judge will sentence the man found guilty of killing St. Louis police officer Tamaris Bohannon.
Our Diamond Palmer joins us now live in downtown St. Louis with what we can expect at Thomas Kinworthy's sentencing. Diamond?
Well, Renee and Michelle, the sentencing gets underway here at the Civil Courts building today at 1:30 this afternoon. And Thomas Kinworthy faces life in prison. Now, Thomas Kinworthy's trial happened almost 4 years after the murder of Officer Tamaris Bohannon. And Kinworthy was emotionless in the courtroom last month. And now a judge will decide his fate today. So just a reminder on the details of this case, we're going to show you some video here on your screen now. Kinworthy shot at 2 officers back in 2020 after breaking into a home in the Tower Grove neighborhood in South St. Louis. Officer Bohannon was shot in the head and died days later. A second police officer was shot in the leg, but he survived. Police say before that, Kinworthy shot a homeless man in the alley. Now, during the trial last month, the defense argued Kinworthy had schizophrenia, but prosecutors said he was faking his mental illness and knew what he was doing. Kinworthy has since been charged with multiple crimes, including first-degree murder, assault on a law enforcement officer, burglary, and resisting arrest. Officer Bohannon's father and Circuit Attorney Gabe Core had this to say after his conviction.
It is a form of closure, not the closure that I seek, but it's still one that I would accept. A violent criminal is now facing the sentence that is appropriate, which is a sentence of spending the rest of his life in prison.
Now, 5 on your side has spoken to the widow of Officer Bohannon several times over the past years, and her name is Alexis. She says she is left raising their 3 children alone as a widow. She says it's difficult, but she does have the help of family. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll hear from Alexis and what she thinks about the delays in this case. Reporting live here in St. Louis, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Diamond. New this morning, a 21-year-old Farmington man is dead after a crash on Wesley Chapel Road near Holmes Road in St. Francis County. State troopers tell us it happened around 8 o'clock last night when the driver, Dalton Belkin, drove off the road and hit a tree. Belkin was the only passenger.
This morning, St. Louis City leaders are focusing on street safety, and they want your feedback.
Today, they're hosting a public meeting at St. Mary's High School on South Grand. This afternoon's meeting will begin at 4 o'clock and run until 8. A proposed project from the city would reduce speeding and accidents by reconfiguring traffic, among other things.
All right, before we head to break, this is a live look at that massive sinkhole at an Alton Park. After the break, we're going to show you the shocking moment. The sports field caved in, and it was all caught on camera.